have built a company that succeeded, but I've also built one that failed. Do I regret doing it? Maybe not. Let the company go quickly if it's not working. Fail fast enough to recover. Founders need to start from place of solving a problem. If you continue to check whether you're solving that problem still exists and you're solving it, that's how you know whether you should carry on or you should not.
Meet Onyinye Igbokwe. She ran successful businesses in Lagos. Then she moved to Scotland and watched her ventures fail. Most people would call that the end. She called it a redirection. Today, she builds the stages for other founders, leads regional partnerships across the UK, and does it all while managing a voice in her head that tells her she's not good enough. This is what happens when you stop trying to be the hero and start building the ecosystem instead.
For someone watching this who has similar voice telling them they are not good enough for the role they are currently in, what would you tell them maybe they wish they have known earlier?
You need to sit down and consider the facts. Fact one, you were hired to do the job. The fact that you made it to that room means that what?
Wow, I'm just thinking about a lot of things here.
And fact number three is that.
Thank you, Onyinye. You wrote something that stopped me. You said, I struggled in social settings because of the resulting anxiety. I replay every conversation to see if it was appropriate, and I end up scolding myself repeatedly. Yet, you are the head of regional partnerships. Your entire job is being social. What does that voice say to you after an important event? The one that scolded you.
To be honest, I don't know where you got this face because I haven't posted on LinkedIn for a very long time. I don't think people notice because I repost things that people tag me in. But this was something I think I made when I started working at Black Professionals as a program manager over there. And the job entailed me having to run events, turn up to events. It was almost every single day of my working experience. I have to be at events. And I remember when I first moved here and started going to those events, I read that particular thing because when I go to those events, have conversations, I go home and I have anxiety. Like there was a period when I used to go to events all week, and during the weekend I can barely make it out of bed because I was exhausted emotionally. I call it peopling. I am all peopled out. And it was quite daunting at the time because every time I do all these things during the week, during the weekend, I am barely able to get out of bed. What started happening was I started getting in tune with who I was, who I am, essentially, to say, sometimes it still happens now when I finish conversations, I go away and think, was I a bit too straightforward? Because I'm a very direct speaker. I'm a very direct person. And you'll find that the culture here is not culture of directness. People dance around issues and they find the way to have the time. You find yourself in conversations where you're thinking, did I do something right or did I do something wrong? Did it go well or did it not go well? Because you're not sure. And it's a cultural thing here. Whereas my way of communication is very direct. Like you would know, like if I'm unhappy, you would know. If I'm happy with it, you would know. If I don't like the work, you will know. If I do like it, you will know in no uncertain terms. And so I find that after I finish conversations in social settings, especially work social settings, I go back and I'm replaying all of those conversations to be certain that I haven't offended. Yeah. And the way that I've dealt with it is that sometimes I go into conversations by letting people know exactly who I am. Do you get it? I can say to you, sorry, just to be clear, just a disclaimer, I'm a very direct person. So once I tell it to you, at least you know what to expect before I start speaking. And sometimes when so I go into conversations like that, but there were other places where I've also learned to soften my approach to things.
Hmm.
Um, I was speaking to a colleague the other day who was just about leaving the company, and she said something. She said, It's been a joy to watch me grow." I knew where she was coming from because when I first
Hmm.
started, I'm very task oriented. I'm just about what's the task? Did we do it well? Did we not do it well? We move on. Not that I'm perfect at it, but I've learned the soft skills of like trying to navigate conversations, and being able to. So I think yeah, learning those soft skills has helped in my interactions. But I've also scaled back in the number of like social things that I go to, work events and things that I go to as well, just so that I can pace myself and balance out my emotions and I'm not left exhausted at the end of every work week.
So now, let's assume for someone watching this who has, let me say, a similar voice telling them they are not good enough, let's say for the role they are currently in. Now, what would you tell them and what would you like them to know? And maybe they wish they have known earlier.
I think they're two different voices. Self-editing is good, but if there is a voice telling you you're not good enough, I think that's an imposter syndrome, isn't it? Because I think I went to a therapy session and I had a conversation with the therapist, and he said to me, to when you have a voice trying to tell you something otherwise, you need to sit down and consider the facts. So, for instance, if you're in a place of work and you're in a room and there's a voice telling you you don't belong there, what are the facts? Fact one, you were hired to do the job. And the fact that you went through interviews and submissions and everything, knowing how hard it is for Black people or people of color or underrepresented groups to be able to get into those rooms, the fact that you made it to that room means that what? You deserve to be there, that you are more than qualified because you've gone through every bias and every blockings to sit in that room. So that's fact one. Fact one is you didn't just arrive there. You interviewed, you went through the process, and you arrived there. Fact two is if you are if you're within a team and you're sitting in that meeting, it's because you're where you're supposed to be. I reckon if you're a project manager and you're in a project meeting, it's because you're the project manager or because you're the project coordinator. It's because you're a part of that project. That is why you're in that room. And whatever your role is in that project, focus on it and talk about your expertise. Do you get it? Or your knowledge of what is true, which is you are part of running this project. And because you're a part of it, you have certain knowledge that maybe other members of the team doesn't have that you have to educate them on. Do you get it? So that's fact two. You're there because that is where you're supposed to be. Let's say you're a project manager managing a project and you were called into a leadership meeting or a director's board meeting and you're not a director. That's when you start to ask yourself, why am I here? Do you get it? Then that voice is justified. But if the fact is that you're in that room because you're supposed to be there, when that voice arises, you consider the facts. Fact number one, you were hired to be in that role. Fact number two, you're in that room specifically because you're a part of that project or you're a part of that team. Do you get it? And fact number three is that your contributions matter. Because if you stop contributing because you're feeling like you're not a part of, that means you're robbing that team of the essential knowledge that comes with you being in that team. Another fact again, is there anybody that you feel like is more qualified than you are to be in that
You.
room at that time? Do you get it?
Hmm.
And what makes them
Yeah.
more qualified? Consider the
Hmm.
facts.
And this takes me to the next question. You have founded and co-founded multiple companies. Let me start with Punch Munda, Ugali, Photopool, Spice Social. Not all of them worked how you planned. But here is what I want to understand. What did you tell yourself about who you were when one of those ventures failed? Not about the business, You understand? But about you,
It's easier said than done to like separate the two because
okay?
the honest truth is when you're building something, you feel like is an extension of yourself. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um. This is something that we deal with all the time. With To answer the question about how I've done, what I've done. The thing is, I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. Do you get it?
Yeah.
My background is engineering. I love to build things. I love
Yeah.
to see things materialize. I like to follow projects through. I like to come out at the end of it and look at what process has gone into it. Um, and I can tell you now that there is no business person or company or anything in the world where everything is smooth sailing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Businesses that have succeeded, even though a lot of work go into it, there's an element of luck
I
that
agree with you.
actually plays on it. Do
The
you get
rule,
it?
yeah,
Because there
yeah.
are people who are really good at what they do, but they don't hit the right marks. That one conversation that could be like, the changing thing or that one viral moment that takes your product from 1,000 users to 1 million users in 1 week. That's the
Yeah.
difference between you succeeding and you failing. Do you get it? So
Yeah.
sometimes you might do everything right
Right.
and still fail. I have built a company that succeeded, sold our assets, moved here, but I've also built one that failed. I'm still dealing with like the aftermath of that, which could be very um, damaging for me. But the thing is, I think about it and I'm like, do I regret doing it? Maybe not. Do you get it? Because the knowledge that I've gotten from that failure have allowed me to build the new products that I've built just now. And looking at some of like the little wins we have where you go in and you see people from over 30 countries using the product when you're not even backed in it, you're thinking, that means I've made like, 2,000, 10,000 people's lives better by solving this one problem. Do you get it? The satisfaction that I get from that. So if it fails tomorrow, I'm still going to get up and be like, right, what have I learned from this failure?
From
Do
this.
you get it?
Wow.
Everything in
Wow.
life is about living and learning. It's
Hmm.
only the people who dare to do that are going to achieve success, because if you don't dare, you will never be able to like get anything off the ground.
So let's say I'm a founder who is watching the video right now, and my venture is struggling. You understand? And I'm wondering if I am the problem. So my question is what question should I be asking myself instead?
I think the best way to do this, because I've also made mistakes in the past and I'm not always shy to talk about my failures or my mistakes, especially if it's going to help another person to be better. Um is you need to I feel like founders need to start from a place of solving a problem. Yeah.
Okay.
And throughout the life cycle of that business, if you continue to check whether you're solving that problem still exists and you're solving it, that's how you know whether you should carry on or you should not.
You know. Okay.
I know it sounds very simple, but maybe I can,
Hmm.
or complex, sorry, but I can simplify it. So if I start a business based
Yeah.
off of the fact that I made an assumption about a problem that people have,
Not facing.
yeah.
Yeah.
If I assume, like I had a conversation this morning with my co-founder on something else. He was telling me about something else he was building around. I'm not sure I should share some of it, but around delivery. There's a delivery a solution he's just built for the
Okay.
Nigerian market, and I asked the question: are you going to be on ground to check out, like to make sure that everything like it's going? Because there's a problem, an attitudinal problem where like you hear even like riders with like these big companies collect
Yeah.
food from vendors instead of delivering
And
it to the
they
people
didn't
they are
deliver.
delivering it to. They eat half of it and then bring
Yeah.
the other one, and all sorts of things that come out of. And I'm saying to him, is that a place? Do you really think the problem is the lack of, delivery apparatus, or the problem that is supposed to be solved is slightly different? Do you get it?
Yeah.
And so sometimes we build a product, we'll put the bells and whistles in the product, we fall in love with it, and then we start looking for people who have the problem.
Problem.
And then we start paying heavy adverts and things, trying to convince people that they have the problem
Problem.
and that they will need your solution. The difference with people who succeeded is that they started with a
The
problem.
problem. Yeah.
Let me tell you how Photopool was built. I was on Twitter one day and somebody put something about that she had the wedding 2 weeks before, and that the photographer just called her up 2 weeks after to say, does she still have the wedding dress? If she does, can she come out to so hotel so he can take
For
pictures of
real?
her because he lost the pictures. Yeah,
Pictures. Wow.
yeah. It was on Twitter. I tell you now. And Niger Twitter now, how brutal
Yeah.
it is. People were like, "Nah, I'm going to take our contract to kill him. There's no way to go about it." Some people were like, "Where is it so we can go and deal with it?" That sort of thing. Like
Yeah.
most of their solutions were centered around how to,
Discipline
how to take
the
our
person.
contract on top the
Yeah.
photographer's head. You get, yeah. So I know it was all bants and stuff, but you can tell how frustrated people are
It
that
can be.
their go-to solution would be, nah, he's not meant to be existing and breathing the same air.
Hmm.
You get.
Yeah.
And I thought about it. I was like, what if there is a solution that allows this person, knowing a Nigerian wedding and how big it is, that you barely
Yeah.
know who attended and who didn't?
Yeah.
I was like, is there a way for this person to go back and collect pictures from the event? Because everybody is a photographer now. Do you get it?
Yeah. We are
So the level
fans.
of content that get created in your own event that you don't have, if you start collecting it, it's enough to make up their
Yeah.
memory bank. That's
Yeah.
what I said. I thought about. So I went away, started wireframing. Before you know it, got friends together. We started building.
Hmm.
Since we've been building, there are a bit of things that have evolved. There is AI bits that have come in, helping people to be able to find their pictures quicker. But every time there is some pivot being suggested, I ask the same question. What problem are we solving? The
Serving.
problem that we're looking to solve is to help event media. Do you get it? To help people be able to create point of view event media and for people to be able to get their event media in real time. Do you get it? After they have
Yeah.
attended one. Yeah.
Wow.
And so every time we try to do things, I go back to, is that still a relevant problem? Yes. Are we solving that problem? Yes. So even if we're having a bit of problem with funding now, even if we're having a bit of problem with, time for co-founders to be able to like really commit to things,
Yeah.
even if we're having a bit of problem with our operations or things, we're still solving a relevant problem. So it's enough for us to keep going.
Personally, I've learned a lot from what you just said, and I believe another founders listening to this, we also learn a lot. Trust me. And now I want to ask this question. You mentioned something that if
Yeah.
something is not working between either 1 to 2 years, you should maybe pause it or stop it. How do we know when to stop? Is there a particular strategy to calculate the timeline? Or is it possible to know if it's not working or if it's not going to work within months?
Yeah, I think with experience now, I can tell you for free, again, it's centered around problem. So that something is not working isn't doesn't mean, let's say if the problem is still relevant, if there are people still clamoring for solution, that you've run out of money doesn't really mean, because you can easily raise money tomorrow. No, it's not that it's easy, but it's something that you can have one conversation that changes things for you. Do you get it? But knowing when to stop is being honest with yourself. Is Are you spending so much time and energy trying to convince people to use that product? Is it something that when you go into, let's say you were given an opportunity to speak at a conference and you talked about the problem you're solving and the solution you've built for it, will at least 10 to 20 people in that room quickly download that because they have the problem?
Problem.
Will they say, thank God that you've spoken about this today? Do you get it?
Yeah.
How much time, how much energy, how much how much is it costing you to acquire one customer? If you're spending a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of resources trying to convert one
A single
customer
customer
into a paid
user.
user,
Yeah.
think about whether you are actually solving a problem, because it might be that you're not solving a relevant
Any
problem.
problem.
There are also problems that are relevant, but people are not willing to pay for it.
To pay for it.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I use this every time I teach an ideation class, that when people were building, let's say, the elevator, yeah, when somebody came up with the idea of an elevator to put it in public spaces. Imagine if they built an elevator, put it in those buildings, and charged individuals to use it. Yeah? Think about it. If the elevator was based on pay as you go or pay as you use, and you went into a building, you're going to the second floor, will you take the elevator?
No.
Maybe not. If you're able-bodied, if you're able to go up those stairs, you might not really take it, will you?
Yeah.
If somebody is saying pay £20 to get into this elevator and it will get you to the second floor faster, will you pay for it? No, not really. Or if the elevator is there for free, will you go into it sometimes, going to the second floor? Yes. If you're tired, you use it. But if it was paid, even if you were dying, you're like, and you still have breath in you, you'll go up to the second floor yourself. Will you pay for it? Not really.
No.
So whilst it's bringing value, if they were selling to the wrong customers, they might not be in business just now. The elevators might not exist. So it's also trying to, when you've asked your question yourself, am I solving a problem? Think about who has this problem. Yeah. And when you think about who has a problem, also think about who will pay for the solution. Because sometimes you might solve a problem and the users of the users of your solution might be different from your customers. So let's say you build a solution for young people. Even though the young people might look at it, enjoy it, yeah, they still rely on their parents to be able to pay for the subscription. Yes. So you need to think about, do I have different user categories? Like, are my users different from my actual customers? The customers are people who pay for it. Your users might be different. In some cases, your users are also your customers, but there are some cases where your users are different from your customers. So making sure that you are also catering to the users as well as the customers. Because if you build a solution that children do have and is solving the problem and the parents are willing to pay for it, but let's say the user interface is not child friendly, no matter how much, even if the parents paid for the next 1 year for the child and the child is not using it and is not happy with it and is not enjoying using it, the parents at some point will stop paying for it. Do you get it? So even though you're solving a relevant problem, but you're not very set, you've not managed to build the solution to cater to both categories of your customer segments. Do you get it? So there are so many questions to ask yourself, but the major one is, am I solving a relevant problem? Do you get it? And I put relevant there because it might be relevant yesterday, but it's no longer relevant today. Do you get it?
Wow, I'm just thinking about a lot of things here. And the mistake I've also made. In one of our conversations, I discussed about one idea that I wanted to work on, saver spend, price comparison stuff. If you can remember, in 20, is it not 2025? And it got so lagged on the ground that we're about to launch. You get, and that was when OpenAI published it. That they have integrated like they have making shopping experience more okay on ChatGPT. I'm like, Jesus Christ. A week later, Claude posted their own. Jesus Christ. Then within that month, the price comparison and shopping experience now became trending on social media. Then another guy who scammed investor about $80 million, who also built a price comparison platform. So that thing now became trendy. So I was now telling this guy, okay, I knew that there is a problem that people are facing regarding price comparison. But what happened is that we were so sluggish to push. And based on what you said now, that we should just do what you want to do, and it's better to fail faster. Because I'm very sure I didn't mean that we push it out. That means we push it out before this giant. Even if they will later push us in, as if we already went out, and who knows, we might have gone viral before them. And that lesson has taught me a lot of things. Okay, the next thing that you will do, you don't need to wait for co-founder, because co-founding aspect is what made me to, okay, I need someone to co-found this with. But anything that I want to do, even if I don't get the co-founder, just build it and push it out. Know if it's going to work, and if it's not going to work, I must have learned something.
Focus on the problem. So for you, if you're looking to solve a problem, especially like at that time it was relevant, focus on the problem, and if you're able to like build a solution to solve that problem in its purest form. People are looking to like build app bells and whistles, pay an app company, but I've also seen people just use Excel sheets to validate their idea. Do you get it? To get users that eventually convert to paid users after they've launched like a beautiful product. I saw the way you're moving just now, because I saw the thing that you've just put on LinkedIn about the new product you built. And I was just cheering it on because I was quite proud about how you've gone about it. Is you started with a problem, you've built this MVP, you've asked people to come in, and you can validate early enough if people have the problem, because it's to show you in the numbers of people who come in and say, right, put me in, coach, I want to use this, I want to try it because I have this problem. I need to be one of the early adopters. Do you get it? So I think you really need, once we start building like that. And last week or on LinkedIn, while I was teaching an ideation class, I actually found that how about if I can simplify moving from like lean canvas into people doing like actual product prototyping and user journey wireframing, that they can easily just move on from and start validating the product and start showing maybe investors. It's not about talking about the idea, but look at how it's going to look. Because I've seen that when people move on from like talking about it to showing an actual demo, that people have a better understanding of it. That might be the difference between someone writing you a check or not. So I just went and did this, I think it was like through the weekend, did this thing, got my friends to come and help, hosted it on GitHub. It's not very beautiful, but I put it out and I was like, right, guys, try this out, give me feedback. And I received a couple of feedbacks on LinkedIn that I'm looking at thinking, okay, maybe I have enough to maybe try this again. Or I might over the weekend also like try and push it on my Instagram and every other place to allow people to give me feedback around how they want to look at it. And then I can maybe just try and build the simplest version of it and see what happens. Even within that last week, I had a conversation with a friend that works at University of Sterling, and he was like, "Oh, I am teaching this class about lean canvas to prototype, and is it okay for us to use this?" I was like, "Yeah, you can." Do you get it? Even though it's in a better form, it's like HTML app. it's not like proper, but I am already showing it to people. I'm not
To
waiting for
people.
it to be beautiful. I've already pushed it out. And at the back end on GitHub, I've seen 35 people like using it, tinkering
Using
with it. Do
wow.
you get it? And they're giving live feedback as they're tinkering and saying, I wish it did this and I wish it did that. Do you get it?
Yeah.
And I'll test it to a place where I'm like, okay, maybe I can release this and add it onto our Novate Hub offering, because what we do is support founders and it will be part of things we do. Or it could be something that also supports in my day job. Do you get it? So I've looked at it and I'm like, okay, this is an actual problem, because I was teaching a class. I'm like, if people can, I was looking at it from a point of view of a facilitator teaching like an ideation class. It might be good for people after they've done this work, building out their lean canvas, to be able to even see the prototype. I did it live in class using AI. But I went back and said, how about I build a tool that allows them to just pop in all the details, and especially when the facilitator has finished teaching them the lean canvas. But the thing is, founders are using this and saying, right, if I'm a founder using it, I need to have more information around Lean Canvas to help me go through it. I've had people who teach classes coming in and saying, yeah, you need to be able to regulate it in a way that people can't just come in and pop in like wrong values while it's generating something for them that is not targeting the right people. I've looked at all those feedback, I've collected it. Do you get it? Building version 2, I'll go back to that feedback, I'll look at it, I'll build it better, and then I'll come back in. And what I will do is, when I'm coming back in to say, right, look at the improved version, I can go to those people who tried it earlier and tag them
Yeah.
on LinkedIn to say, right, look, I've done a bit of improvement. What are your thoughts now? Do you get it?
Yeah.
And then I get other people to also contribute to it. And before you know it, you've built a product that is solving actual problem for people. I've seen, we build in silence. Listen, I'm guilty of this. We build, but you see some of these people who built like actual companies that are excelling, like Facebook and all those people. They built in campus. They were getting
Yeah.
people to try it. They were getting better in real time. Sometimes when you see like the first version of those products, you'll be like, I wouldn't have touched it with a long broom. Do you get it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But people build with the customers and collect feedback from the customers and just make it fun at first. Let it not be a business. Let it not be all of this. These are some of the mistakes I made earlier on. Build the Because if you're solving a problem, be excited about that problem you're solving. Keep it as simple as possible. Keep the product as simple as possible. Keep your structure as simple as possible until you get to a place where things start getting complex. That's when you start thinking about, co-founder who, if you're a technical founder who doesn't have like business knowledge, think about,
Yeah.
would it be best to get a co-founder, or would I do better by just hiring what's it called, a chief of staff, or executive assistant who will be able to do the nitty gritty work that I cannot do. Do you get it? And get
Yeah.
like, let's say, legal people, accountants, people on retainers, while you continue to figure out to make sure that your books are in order and
Yeah.
that you're operating within the legal parameters. You can have those people on retainers just advising, and you try and tinker around the day to day until you get to a place where you're able to build out a company and start dealing with the
Promise.
headache of like business operations. Because
Yeah.
sometimes if you're
Yeah.
dealing with that while building, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. It is. It is because from my little experience, I had to build up a team. Okay, you handle the operation aspect. But sometimes what I'm learning, like the aspect that I mentioned that we should love, like it should be more fun. And it's more fun to me because someone asked me, that, okay, how is the beta launch? I was like, I'm enjoying the fun of it because the call I've had with the users and the way they told me. And one thing I got to know is that the users are actually looking towards the AI career advisor, not the course concept. I'm like, okay, because everyone at that, because I told them I would love to see you using the platform just to see where there are frictions and where we need to maybe adjust a little. The very first thing they want to do on the platform is the AI career advisor. Now, majority of them when they try to use it, there were errors, like the bugs. they weren't able to complete their onboarding, and immediately I would just reach out to the engineering, like, guys, there are errors here, there are bugs here. But the way I was conversing with them is making me like, this is actually the work of a product manager, and I'm just a senior product associate at JP Morgan. Now I'm actually doing the real work of a product manager. Even if I get back to work, now I have more experience because now you do something from scratch. And now people users, because what I told them is that you need to actually lock your card. And for people to lock their card, that means they believe, okay, this thing should be able to solve their problem. And most of them, they haven't even seen the demo because I have product demos, but I don't want to share it with anyone. I want you to go there, see it yourself, and what can you say? Can this thing solve your problem? And one thing another person said is that she said, I'm using the data camp, that I really want to see how the data hub will be different. In my head, that means this user is comparing is just a better product with an established giant in this data market. And I was like, okay, this particular user, I need to see. Then she told me that the data camp also has this structured learning, but they lack what we have, which is the career intelligence aspect. I was like, okay, good. So even within few days, when I opened the beta WhatsApp link, I just wrote the message to some communities, and within 3 days, I needed 50 people, more than 50 people joined. You understand? So these are the things that I was like, okay, these are the things I need to do. And if I actually want to get people to actually use it, let them use it. And the mistake I also made, which they are also correcting, is that I need to make it free because some people are being skeptical. A lot of people registered, but before they can use it, I told them that they need to lock their card to lock the better price. But now what we are trying to do is to make it even free. Either you want to lock your card or you don't want to lock your card, use it. Because a lot of people registered, but they didn't lock their card. And the essence of locking their card... Yeah, continue.
You need the early adopters.
Yeah, that's
You
it.
need to start with a free model. You need the early adopters, the ones who will give you like proper feedback. But it's also good that you got 50 people to lock their cards. That's insane. There are companies who have built a product and in 3 years they've not even gotten 50 people to pay 50 paid users. So that's a feat in itself. I like that you're revenue minded, but for the testing phase, it might be good to like just get actual people to test before you start thinking about monetization bits. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Now, getting into the part of purpose. You mentioned your daughter seeing you in tech leadership. What is the conversation you had with her, or the one that you are preparing to have, about why mommy works so hard even when it's difficult?
I am the way I am because I also grew up watching my mom just be absolutely badass, if I can say that. Do you get it? Considering the resources that she had, when I think about the decisions that she made and the way that I was raised, I came from nothing. Yeah. Even people I went to secondary school with, people I went to uni with, I think they were thinking I came from money because of the way that I carried myself. It's just the way that I was raised. I wasn't trying to pretend to be who I wasn't. That's just how I was raised. I was raised to believe in my own abilities. I was raised to, if I believe in something, work hard for it and get it done. Do you get it? I was raised to get things done and there is nothing I cannot do if I apply myself to it. So, and it wasn't told to me. I saw my mom do it. Do you get it? It's not something I'm like, my mom came and said, oh, you can be anything you want to be. Off you go. No, I saw her every day get up and be different things. I was there when she was a teacher. She rose to become the headmistress. That's the highest rank she could be. She was headmistress for a B. She retired in 1993. I was still very young at the time. And then after she retired, did she go home and sit down and just enjoy her pensions? Not really. She started a shop and started selling like in my local market, selling food stuff. it allowed her to like, because she was a woman leader or whatever, it allowed her to like be closer to people, to understand people more. She was like a focal point for like the young people and old people alike. They come in to tell her their stuff. Do you get
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
But I also saw her like set up a sit in leadership in things that doesn't even concern her. She started her women's meeting in my village. It's called the Umokbu meeting. I don't know if you're able, you will know what that means. So basically, people who are from my village who has been married to different villages, different towns, different. There's a meeting they have, I think once a month, where all of them will travel all
Come
the way and
together.
come back just to be
Mm.
connected to these people that they grew up with. Do you get it? So she
Yeah.
started it and she was their leader until, she couldn't go anymore and somebody else carried on. They carry on that meeting. And when my mom was ill, these people turn up morning, afternoon, evening. There's somebody cooking in their house and bringing it to her house. Do you get it?
Oh,
They don't joke
yeah.
with her. They don't play with her. The way they revered her and the way that she held everybody together. They used to make a joke. My mom would travel from my village to like she's been to Kafanchan and all these places. What did she go there to do? There is our sister who is married and they're living in Kafanchan. That time there was no phone. I need to go and check that she's okay. My
Wow.
mom, she will leave her house with her own resources and travel to the north to go and be sure that their sister, who
Person
is
is okay.
married so and living here, is doing well. Do you
Wow.
get it? I didn't get that kind of welfare from her, but it shows you the sort of leader that she is. Do you get it?
Mm.
So when that
Yeah.
person is home, let's say for Christmas, they join the meeting, they make sure that they are sending message, paying their dues. And if they don't hear from them, she will travel herself and go and find out if they're okay. Do you get it?
Yeah.
And so you can see the level of respect that gave her. Then I was there also when we stopped having that shop. She went into politics, and she
Wow.
did it well enough that she was given political appointment. Do you get it? And she became the supervisor for is a political appointment, supervisor of agriculture. She did her tenure, and after her tenure, I was there when she accounted for every pin, every needle that was she used in office. She accounted for every single pin. My mom, she kept it, she accounted for it, and she drummed it in my ears that good name is better than money. And so it's not that she was telling me, I could see that that's what she was about. So it's the foundation that was laid for me that I am standing on.
Trust me, this is what some people don't like. It wasn't opportune to see. You understand? Because some people had to learn in hard way to become who they are. And I'm jealous of your daughter. Seeing having a mother like you. Yeah, trust me.
You should come and tell her that I'm not very popular at home. Oh. I'll tell you now. She doesn't care.
But one day, she will realize that wow, my mom has done a lot because people will tell her, and people that you have imparted, and people that you will still impart. They even if not all, some. I'm very sure about that. This particular question is hard to believe, or I got to ask you this. 2024 was the first time you took a purely relaxed holiday your entire life. What does this say about how we have built work culture that
Mhm.
someone as accomplished as you has never truly rested before?
Yeah, I'm sure you know that we have a very toxic work culture in Nigeria. Sometimes some of us, when we start working here, we're like, what? You can close at 5 on the door and go home and nobody is frowning at you. Um, and and your manager is actually interested in your well-being. What? And you can just turn up and be like, oh no, I'm not feeling very well. And people are like, go home, take care of yourself. I'm sure you know that we've learned to like work through whether you're sick or you're not sick, you need to show up. I even remember I used to be a very sickly child growing up. I was sick a lot when I was a child. And when I tell people I have never missed school, I didn't miss school for one day, even though I was 60% of my childhood, I was really ill. But I turned up. There are days that I turn up to school like and lie on a mat just outside the class so I can hear the teacher speak. Do you get it? My mom will send you to school. You will take your medication and you will go. Do you get it? So I think I just learned that from her. Like, there's no um so I think I worked out a way to make work fun. I did things that I love doing. I tried to have fun with it. Even when I ran my own business in Nigeria, like as a business owner, I turn up every day in the morning, I drop off the kids and I drive to work. And people will be like, oh, don't you work for yourself? I'm like, so um, uh, does that mean I turn up to work every day? I do. And if there's a reason why I wouldn't turn up, let's say my kid is sick or I'm sick, then I tell the staff, "Oh, I'm not going to be in today because of this." Do you get it? Sometimes I go to the hospital, finish what I'm doing, I still turn up to work, um, because that's the way that I've seen things work. And so even with the kids, I make sure you go to school, except you're very ill. Maybe I won't send a sick child to school, but I have to be certain you're sick. Because sometimes kids learn to, oh, I'm not feeling well, so they can sit at home and watch TV. If you do that and you remain at home, there'll be no TV or phones or anything for you. You're going to be in bed resting for the rest of the day until your siblings come back. So think about, do you want to be in school, having fun with your friends and learning, or do you want to just be at home confined to a place? I'm not going to make it fun for you. You're going to stay. And I'm not going to make it fun for you. So, and with that, they've learned, you know what, it's better I just go to school. But if you're truly not well, then we'll look after you. But it's not going to be in front of your TV because you've now called in sick from school. No, we don't do that because that's not the way I was raised. So if you look at the way of turning up, I was raised to turn up no matter how difficult things are. I tell people I can be going through the most depressive state and I will still turn up to work and do my job. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. So you can never tell by my performance where I am at in my personal life because my personal life can be going to shit and I will still turn up and deliver what I'm meant to deliver. Do you get it?
This question is to wrap it off. What is a story that you have never told publicly about your journey that shaped you to who you are today?
Being that I do a lot of public speaking, I don't know if there's one that I've left out. It's probably the one I told you about my mom. Do you get it? About my mom's journey. Because I've never really thought about it and the way that has shaped me. I think even I've never had that conversation before about like all these things that my mom had done and, the way I've looked at it and even the time that her pension and gratuity, the bank it was paid into, the bulk sum you get from your pension before they start paying you the monthly one, the gratuity and the bank it was paid into folded and with her money. I think it was ACB at the time. She didn't get it. They folded and they took that money away. So that 35 years of service, it accounted to nothing. Um, and I remember her just pivoting and starting that shop and then getting involved in politics and then um, the politics working out and she using that. Do you get it? And all the things that came after. If you think about the level of resilience she's had to show, do you get it? And even knowing she started teaching at the age of 16 when most people weren't going to school. Do you get it? And there's something they call me. They call me one miss. They call my mom Miss. At the time they called the teachers Miss. So most people don't know her real name. They just call her Miss. Oh, remember Miss? That's her. That's my mom. So I can say to you, oh, this is Onyinye, and the person is like trying to find out. I'll be like, it's Onyinye, Miss daughter. Do you understand? I am the daughter of Miss. Once I say that, people are like, oh my God, is that so? Oh, I know when you were little because I was the only child, and she carried me to everything. Like she's going to work, I was at her back. She's going like she took me to everything. So everybody who knew her knew me because like I was her handbag. There was no like what's it called, child minding or whatever, so she took me around to everything, the office, the what, she took me to everything. So I can speak to what I saw from observing her. Do you get it? So her name alone, I'll be like, oh, it's Sonia, and they're like, which Sonia? I'll then say is Mrs. Daughter, and then they'll be like, oh, what, I remember when you were this little and when you were this high, and that sort of thing. And then it opens up conversation, and you see their stance towards you softens. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I've ever shared that story, like of where I started. When I think about it, I think that has shaped the way that I move, the way that I show up to work, and the way that I show up with the kids, so that they can look at me and not about what I'm telling them to be, but they can look at what I am being in real time. Do you get it?
Yeah. Wow. This conversation has been very helpful, impactful, and I will say I'm very lucky to be here with you, learning from you, learning from your story, and even from your mom's story. That's powerful. And your story is very powerful. And thank you very much. For people listening who want to follow your journey, want to know your work, where can they connect with you?
I think LinkedIn is a good place. My name is Onyinye Igbokwe on LinkedIn. You can find me there, or Instagram. I'm not the most active there. I do post a lot of memes on my stories because that's where I go to crack up. If you ask my son what does mommy do for fun, it's like she looks at her Instagram and she's laughing out loud because that's what I do at home. I just sit and watch the Instagram, watch all those jokes, and I laugh. I have hearty laughs from it. Like I crack up by myself and I enjoy my own company. So I think Instagram is also a good place. That's where I share like a bit about my personal life. I think that's where I share mostly now. But if you're looking to connect with me, on Instagram is Posh Mami, POSHMAMY. I think that's my handle on everything, other than my LinkedIn. Yeah.
Wow. Listener, you have heard her, and I believe her story will resonate with what you're going through, and she has done it. And I believe you listening and watching this can also do it. Thank you very much, Onyinye. This is impactful conversation. And on behalf of the audience, we are saying a big thank you. And for everyone watching this, as I always tell you guys, there's no limit to what we can do. Other people have done it, you can also do it. So don't let your color, don't let your background limit you to what you can do, no matter where you are. And until I see you guys later, bye.